The council chamber was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Towering walls shimmered with colors that seemed alive, and floating platforms hovered above the polished floor, holding beings of every shape and size. Each delegate represented a distant world, and all eyes were now on the newcomers, humans. Captain Lyra led the small human team, her posture calm but firm. Behind her were the human diplomats and their guards. But what immediately caught the council's attention was this. The guards carried no weapons, not a single gun, blade, or energy device, just a few belts with simple tools, and their calm eyes. Whispers erupted. A tri-legged alien with translucent skin leaned toward its neighbor. "They come unarmed," it hissed. Another delegate, covered in thick golden scales, snorted in disbelief. "Are they fools?" Lyra felt their scrutiny, but did not falter. She knew the question that burned in every mind. Why would humans enter a hall filled with potentially hostile aliens without weapons? She had an answer, though she would not reveal it yet. Patience was part of their strategy. The chamber's central platform descended, and a voice resonated in every mind. "Humans, you enter our council. Speak your purpose." Lyra stepped forward. "We come to meet, to discuss, and to form alliances. We carry no weapons because we do not come to fight unless force." Her words were simple, but they carried a strange confidence that made even the most suspicious aliens pause. Murmurs ran through the chamber. One delegate, a creature with 6 glowing eyes, tilted its head. "Confidence is not power. Weapons are power. How can you hope to survive here?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Survival is not always about weapons. Sometimes it is about understanding strategy and trust." The aliens exchanged confused glances. Some laughed quietly, thinking humans naive. Others, smaller and more cautious, leaned closer, curious. Suddenly, without warning, a small holographic projection flickered in the center of the chamber. It showed a simulation of a human defensive formation. The humans moved in patterns that seemed impossible, dodging imaginary attacks, guiding each other with precision, and neutralizing threats without harming anyone. Gasps echoed. The aliens were not expecting such coordination. Even the most skeptical ones could not hide their surprise. Lyra let the projection run, letting the humans' calm efficiency speak louder than any weapon could. Then a sharp sound rang out, an alarm from a corner of the chamber. A group of alien radicals, who had been quietly observing, had activated a test scenario. Weapons flared, and holographic enemies appeared to attack the humans. The council had planned to see if humans would crumble, but the humans did not panic. Each moved with precision, guiding one another, predicting attacks, and neutralizing the threat in ways that did not involve direct violence. The radicals faltered. Their faces showed shock. "How?" one muttered. Lyra kept her voice calm. "We rely on each other, and we use our minds first. Weapons are tools, but intelligence is power." The chamber grew silent. Every alien was watching the humans closely now. Some faces were pale under glowing skin. Others, more curious, whispered to one another. From the shadows, a slim figure with black feathers leaned toward its neighbor. "Watch them carefully. They are hiding something. Strength without weapons. It is unnatural." Lyra noticed the gesture, but did not react. She knew suspicion was natural. The humans had learned long ago that the unknown frightened others, and they would use that to their advantage. Time passed slowly. Every second seemed like an eternity in the council chamber. The humans stood calm, unarmed, unshaken. And slowly, some of the delegates began to nod, not in agreement, but in recognition. These humans were not ordinary. Finally, Lyra spoke again, her tone steady and clear. "We came here unarmed not out of weakness, but out of respect, and to show that sometimes strength is not measured in weapons or force, but in the courage to trust and the skill to survive without them." The chamber was quiet. Some aliens exchanged glances. Others continued whispering. Suspicion had not vanished. It had deepened into curiosity, fascination, and perhaps fear. And somewhere deep in the chamber, a small council member tapped a finger on a metallic console, sending a quiet signal. "Watch them. They are not what they seem." Lyra and her team remained calm, waiting. The real test was just beginning. They had arrived unarmed. Yes, but the story of human ingenuity, strategy, and resilience was about to unfold, and the council had no idea what was coming next. The council chamber was still buzzing with whispers from the humans' arrival. Eyes followed every movement of Captain Lyra and her team, scrutinizing the unarmed visitors. No one expected the next move, and that was exactly what the humans wanted. The lead council speaker, a tall alien with crystalline skin, raised its hand. Its voice echoed through the chamber. "Humans, you claim to survive without weapons. If this is true, prove it. Face the challenge of the council's trials." A murmur ran through the assembly. Some delegates chuckled, confident that humans would fail. The trials were legendary, designed to test strength, intelligence, and even courage under pressure. Lyra nodded calmly. "We accept." Immediately, the floor beneath the humans shifted. A vast platform extended from the chamber, leading to a new arena. Holographic walls rose, creating a maze-like field. Strange devices clicked and whirred, projecting illusions of hostile creatures. Energy beams flashed across the walls. Every sense was tested, every instinct challenged. The council watched, eager to see the humans struggle. A few leaned forward, smiling at the thought of failure. Lyra glanced at her team. Each member nodded in silent agreement. They had trained for this, not with weapons, but with strategy, teamwork, and careful observation. The first illusion moved toward them. A giant, four-armed creature, teeth bared, claws extended. Most would panic. Most would reach for weapons. But the humans did something unexpected. They split into smaller units, guiding one another through the illusion. They didn't attack. They used the creature's own momentum against them, stepping aside, blocking paths with precise coordination, and trapping the illusions in harmless energy fields. Gasps erupted from the council. One alien delegate hissed, "They anticipate every move. They are impossible to predict." The next challenge was more dangerous. Holographic energy beams crisscrossed the arena, set to strike anyone who moved recklessly. The humans advanced slowly, observing patterns, counting pulses, and coordinating their steps. Lyra led her team through a series of calculated movements, turning danger into a careful dance. From the observation deck, some aliens began to feel unease. Their confidence that humans were weak started to crack. A loud clang rang out, the final test. A mechanical guardian emerged, larger than any human, equipped with blades and shields. The humans could not defeat it in a traditional fight. They had no weapons. Instead, Lyra signaled her team. They used misdirection, luring the guardian into traps they had memorized. Every action was precise, every movement deliberate. In the end, the guardian was immobilized, completely unharmed but neutralized. Silence filled the chamber. No one had expected this. Humans had passed not by brute strength, but by intelligence, teamwork, and calm under pressure. A young council member with luminous blue eyes whispered to another, "They are not strong, yet they are stronger than anything I have seen." "How?" The tall alien speaker's voice cut through the silence. "Remarkable. Humans, you survived challenges designed to crush the strongest. But tell us, why are you unarmed? Why not bring weapons like all others?" Lyra stepped forward. Her calm voice carried authority. "Weapons can kill, but they do not guarantee survival. True strength lies in understanding your surroundings, trusting your allies, and thinking ahead. We come unarmed to show that sometimes courage and strategy are more powerful than steel or fire." The council seemed divided. Some were impressed. Some were still skeptical. Others were quietly fearful. The unarmed humans had just proven that normal rules did not apply to them. Then, a shadow flickered in the observation deck. A slim, feathered alien nudged its neighbor. "Watch them. They are hiding something. Their real power is not visible, yet." Lyra noticed a movement but remained composed. She knew the council's eyes were everywhere, trying to see what humans would not show. But that was exactly why they were here, to make the galaxy see humans as unpredictable, disciplined, and clever beyond expectation. The trials ended, but the story was far from over. Whispers filled the chamber. Some spoke of admiration, others of fear. All wondered what humans would do next, and whether the Council was ready to accept a species that could challenge expectations without firing a single weapon. Lyra's eyes scanned the chamber. The real challenge, she knew, was not surviving the trials. It was earning the Council's trust before a greater threat arrived. And humans were ready. The Council chamber was buzzing, but the whispers were different now. Fear, curiosity, and respect mixed in equal measure. Humans had completed the trials without weapons, yet emerged unharmed and victorious. Delegates leaned forward, eyes wide, reassessing everything they thought they knew about strength. The crystalline alien, still towering above the others, spoke first. Its voice resonated across the chamber. Humans, your performance was unexpected. You survived where others would fail. You neutralized threats without violence. Explain. How do you accomplish this? Captain Lyra stepped forward, her movements calm and deliberate. She did not shout or demand attention. She earned it with presence alone. We survive because we rely on each other, she said. We plan, we adapt, and we trust. Weapons are tools, yes, but they're not the only measure of power. Intelligence and coordination can overcome even the strongest force. A murmur spread. Some aliens scoffed, unable to accept this logic. Others whispered, intrigued. One council member, a thin being with translucent skin, leaned close to its neighbor. They are speaking the truth, but there is something they are hiding. I can feel it. Before anyone could respond, a sudden vibration shook the chamber. Alerts flashed across the observation panels. A distant holographic feed showed an unidentified fleet approaching the galaxy's borders, a species thought extinct, known only from legends. Their ships moved silently but quickly, and their energy signatures were deadly. Gasps echoed. Delegates turned toward each other, debating the threat. Fear flickered in every eye, but Lyra did not flinch. She had expected this. She had studied these threats long before humans entered the Council. She addressed the chamber calmly. This fleet is known to us. They are dangerous, yes, but predictable in their patterns. If we act carefully together, we can neutralize them before they harm anyone. We request a private council session to discuss strategy. Shock rippled through the room. Some delegates were impressed, others doubtful. The council was not used to being addressed this way. Usually, newcomers were tested, dismissed, or destroyed. Humans had done neither. The crystalline alien's voice carried authority, but even it sounded hesitant. Humans, you speak of a fleet we barely understand. How do we know you are not exaggerating? Lyra met the alien's gaze directly. We do not exaggerate. We do not come to lie or threaten. We bring knowledge, preparation, and, if you will allow it, experience. Trust is our tool, and survival is our proof. The chamber fell silent. Every delegate was weighing her words. Trust without proof, weapons without aggression. It was alien logic, and yet it made sense. Slowly, a small vote began to form among the older, wiser members. From the shadows, the slim, feathered alien observed. Its eyes glinted with suspicion. They are clever. Too clever. Humans do not fight as we do. They fight with their minds. Watch them. The council may not be ready for what they bring. The debate continued, but the humans did not need approval yet. Their mere presence had shifted the chamber's perception. They were no longer seen as weak or naive. They were unpredictable, disciplined, and smart enough to survive without traditional power. Then, the alarm blared again. A holographic projection displayed a small squad of scout ships entering the outskirts of the galaxy. Even the bravest council members paled. The legends were real. Lyra turned to the council. Her voice was steady, even calm. This is not a test. The fleet is real, and the council's hesitation could cost lives. We propose a plan to observe, guide, and, if necessary, defend the galaxy. But it will require trust, coordination, and willingness to act differently than you have in the past. Whispers rose again, louder now. Fear was clear, but so was curiosity. Some delegates leaned toward her, wanting to hear more. Others whispered urgently, debating if humans could be believed. The crystalline alien raised its hand, signaling silence. Its gaze fixed on Lyra. You have shown strength without weapons, humans. You have survived trials designed for the strongest. And now, you claim knowledge of a threat our records barely mention. Tell us, what is your plan? Lyra smiled faintly, the kind of smile that did not give away secrets but promised action. Our plan relies on observation first, then careful preparation, and finally, action. But it is not a plan we can execute alone. The Council must trust us, and more importantly, it must trust in the power of strategy, intelligence, and coordination over brute force. The chamber went quiet. Even the doubters could feel the tension, the rising suspense. No one had faced a situation like this before. Humans who came unarmed, survived impossible trials, and now spoke of confronting a legendary threat. From the corner of the chamber, the slim, feathered alien whispered, almost to itself. They hide more than they reveal. Watch them. The real challenge begins now. Lyra's eyes swept over the Council one last time. She knew the real test was just starting, not in trials, not in speeches, but in how humans could convince an entire galaxy to act together before it was too late. The Council chamber had quieted, but the tension hung like a heavy mist. Every delegate was aware now that humans were not just clever. They were dangerous in ways that could not be measured by weapons. Yet, many still wonder what the humans were hiding. Captain Lyra gestured for her team to follow her to a smaller, private chamber. The Council hesitated, whispering among themselves, but the crystalline speaker finally nodded. Humans, you claim knowledge of a threat. We allow a private audience. Speak, but know this, deception will not be tolerated. Lyra stepped forward, her calm voice carrying authority. We do not deceive. We speak the truth. There is a fleet approaching, an ancient enemy of the galaxy, thought to be extinct. They are cunning, relentless, and capable of destruction unlike anything you have faced. Murmurs rippled through the room. Some delegates paled. Others leaned closer, eager for details. One alien with 4 segmented eyes asked cautiously, "Ancient enemy? How can you be certain? Our records show no evidence for centuries." Lyra nodded. Records can lie. History can be lost or manipulated. We have observed patterns, remnants of battles, and signs scattered across multiple systems. This fleet is real and will not stop for any council or alliance. That is why we came unarmed, not out of weakness, but to show that we come in trust, seeking cooperation rather than conflict. The chamber was silent, each delegate processing her words. The human's calm confidence clashed with the gravity of the threat. It was unnerving. Lyra activated a small device from her belt. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, detailing clusters of stars, planetary systems, and faint, moving signals. She pointed to a string of ghostly markers. These are traces of the fleet's path over the past decades. They have avoided detection, striking silently, leaving worlds abandoned or destroyed. Only humans have been able to track them consistently. And now, they approach the Council's territory. The translucent-skinned delegate gasped. Legends? I thought they were myths. Legends are often truths disguised by time, Lyra said softly, and myths are dangerous when ignored. This fleet does not negotiate. It does not show mercy. If the Council waits, entire systems will fall before your defenses can respond. The crystalline speaker leaned forward, intrigued but cautious. Humans, your words carry weight. Yet we must question your motives. Why reveal this now? Why involve yourselves? Lyra met the alien's gaze steadily. Because we are human. We survive not through dominance, but through cooperation and preparation. The galaxy's survival depends on the Council's ability to act wisely. We do not ask for weapons nor control. We ask for trust and unity in strategy. A few younger delegates nodded slowly, sensing the urgency. Others whispered anxiously. The idea that humans could command respect without a single weapon was still difficult to accept. From a shadowed corner, the slim, feathered alien observed quietly. Its beady eyes glimmered with suspicion. They are clever, too clever. They have knowledge we do not. What is their true plan? Meanwhile, Lyra continued, we have developed a plan to predict the fleet's approach, identify weak points, and prepare defenses without mass destruction. But it requires access to the Council's sensors and the cooperation of several key worlds. It is a plan that depends on intelligence and timing, not brute force. Gasps ran through the chamber again. Some delegates whispered nervously, realizing that the humans' approach was unconventional, but potentially the only way to survive. One of the older council members, with glowing silver eyes, spoke finally. If what you say is true, then the council has underestimated not only this fleet, but you humans as well. You come unarmed, yet you speak with authority. Your plan may be our only hope. Lyra's eyes softened, but she remained firm. Hope is fragile, but preparation, trust, and action can turn hope into survival. We offer that. Nothing more. Nothing less. The council remained silent, the weight of the revelation pressing down on every being present. The humans had done more than survive trials. They had forced the council to reconsider centuries of knowledge, arrogance, and complacency. From her corner, Lyra sensed a subtle shift. The council was no longer merely skeptical. They were ready to listen for the first time. The humans' unarmed approach, their calm confidence, and their intelligence had begun to change minds. Yet, even as understanding grew, shadows lingered. The feathered aliens' warning remained. They hide more than they reveal. And deep in a holographic map of stars, the approaching fleet loomed like a silent storm, waiting for the moment to strike. Lyra and her team exchanged glances. The first stage of the council's trust had been won, but the real challenge, the challenge of survival against a fleet of legends, was only beginning. The private council chamber was heavy with anticipation. Delegates leaned forward, curiosity and caution etched on every face. Humans had revealed knowledge of a legendary fleet approaching the galaxy, a fleet thought extinct. The council had listened, but trust was still fragile. Humans had to prove their intentions were genuine. Captain Lyra turned to her team. The council doubts us. We must act to show that our strength is in strategy, intelligence, and cooperation. Nothing more. Her team nodded. Each member moved with calm precision. They were unarmed, as always, carrying only small tools for communication and navigation. Yet, there was a quiet confidence in their posture that made even the skeptical delegates uneasy. The crystalline speaker's voice echoed through the chamber. Humans, if you are truthful, then we offer a test. You will enter the council's most secure facility, its central data core. There you will access critical information. Only success will earn you our trust. Failure may have consequences. A murmur ran through the room. The facility was considered impenetrable. Guards, traps, and complex security protocols were designed to stop any intruder, especially one without weapons. Lyra smiled faintly. We accept. Lead the way. The humans followed alien guides to the facility. Doors sealed behind them, and the air hummed with energy. Security sensors swept over their bodies. Every step was watched. The council's skepticism was palpable. Inside the facility, the challenge began immediately. Automated doors locked, laser grids activated, and holographic obstacles appeared. The humans paused, observing patterns. Lyra directed her team with quiet gestures, guiding them to the maze of security. The first trap was a simple one, a floor panel that could trigger alarms. While an alien would have tried brute force or ignored it, humans studied the pattern. One step triggered the mechanism, another avoided it. They moved with synchronization, turning potential danger into a demonstration of discipline and skill. Then came a more complex challenge, a holographic simulation of hostile intruders, designed to mimic intelligence and unpredictability. The humans did not fight. Instead, they coordinated, predicting the intruders' moves, isolating them, and neutralizing threats without harm. The holographic enemies vanished, deactivated by strategy, not strength. From above, the feathered alien watched quietly. Impossible. They are doing what no warrior could do, it whispered to a nearby observer. The final test was the most dangerous. A control panel flashed red. Any misstep could trigger a lockdown, sealing the humans inside. Lyra stepped forward. Using her knowledge of logic circuits, she quickly deciphered the patterns, guiding her team to disable the traps systematically. Every move was deliberate, precise, and calm. The council delegates watched from a secure observation deck, stunned into silence. The humans had navigated a facility that was considered unbreachable without a single weapon. Finally, the holographic interface cleared, revealing the Council's data core. The humans accessed the information, confirmed their knowledge of the approaching fleet, and even uncovered a hidden alien spy attempting to manipulate Council records. Gasps filled the observation deck. A spy right under the Council's nose? The humans had not only proven their intelligence, they had revealed a hidden threat. Lyra addressed the Council through the holographic feed. We do not seek power. We seek cooperation. Trust is a risk, but one that must be taken if the galaxy is to survive. You can see now that our strength lies in thought coordination and courage, not weapons. The crystalline speaker leaned forward, its eyes glowing faintly. Humans, you have passed our test. You have entered our most secure facility unarmed, navigated impossible traps, and revealed deception that we could not detect. Your claims appear credible. Some delegates nodded slowly, admiration replacing skepticism. Others whispered, still wary but intrigued. The humans' approach had forced the Council to reconsider centuries of tradition. Trust was being earned, step by step. Yet, even in victory, Lyra remained vigilant. The spy they had uncovered hinted at larger dangers. She knew the Council's trust was fragile, and the approaching fleet would test it further. Humans had passed this test, but the real trials against living enemies were only beginning. From a shadowed corner, the slim, feathered alien muttered once more. They have proven skill, but what they hide may still be greater than we know. Watch them closely. The true challenge is yet to come. The humans exited the facility calmly, unarmed and unshaken. Behind them, the Council was silent, absorbing the truth. These humans were not ordinary. They were clever, disciplined, and fearless in ways no one had expected. Lyra and her team returned to the main chamber. The whispers had changed. The Council was beginning to respect humans, even if fear and doubt still lingered. And in that quiet tension, one truth was clear. Humans were no longer mere visitors. They were a force the Council could not ignore. The Council chamber was tense, filled with whispers and uncertain glances. Humans had passed every test, navigated impossible traps, and uncovered a spy within the Council's own ranks, all without a single weapon. Yet, the air was heavy with doubt. The delegates knew the fleet was approaching, and the question remained. Could humans truly protect the galaxy? Captain Lyra stepped forward, her calm presence commanding attention. She knew it was time to show the Council the true power humans held. Not through brute force, but through intelligence, strategy, and unity. She began to explain. Strength is not always measured in firepower. True strength is knowing yourself, your allies, and your enemy. It is the courage to act wisely when others panic, and the discipline to turn every challenge into an opportunity. The chamber grew silent. Many delegates had seen demonstrations of human skill, but this speech carried weight. It was as though humans were teaching the Council an entirely new way to fight, survive, and lead. Then Lyra signaled her team. Holographic panels lit up, displaying simulations of past human engagements. In each, humans had faced overwhelming odds, yet prevailed using strategy rather than strength. Ships were coordinated flawlessly, entire enemy formations neutralized with clever maneuvers, traps, and psychological tactics. An alien delegate with 6 glowing eyes leaned forward. You call this strength? It asked, incredulous. These are simulations. They do not prove your power in real life. Lyra's gaze was steady. The simulations are based on reality. Humans are adaptable. We learn quickly. We work together. And we turn our limitations into advantages. Observe what happens when our methods are applied in the field. A holographic feed of real-time data appeared above the chamber. Human teams coordinated planetary defenses, rerouted energy shields, and outmaneuvered hostile ships in precise patterns. Every move was calculated, every risk mitigated. And yet, no one was killed unnecessarily. Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. Even the most skeptical delegates could not hide their astonishment. The humans' tactics were not only effective, they were brilliant. Lyra continued, You see, we do not rely on weapons alone. We rely on thinking, coordination, and trust. That is why we arrived unarmed. to show that power is not always obvious, but is always present when humans act together. From the shadows, the slim, feathered alien muttered in disbelief, "They are unstoppable. Without weapons, how can they achieve so much?" A younger council member whispered to its neighbor, "Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps all this time we relied too much on firepower and not enough on intelligence." Then an alert flashed on the chamber's monitors. The approaching fleet was now within visual range. Massive warships loomed like shadows across multiple systems, moving silently but purposefully. Panic flickered in some delegates' eyes. Lyra remained calm. "This is why we prepared. The fleet will not wait. The Council must act, but our approach differs from yours. We neutralize threats without unnecessary destruction. We predict moves before they happen. We act as one." The crystalline alien's voice was hesitant, almost awed. "Humans, your methods are unconventional, and yet effective. If your strength is truly what you show, then perhaps you are our best hope." Lyra nodded, but her eyes scanned the chamber carefully. She knew the Council still feared the unknown. Fear of humans' unconventional methods could disrupt the very cooperation needed to face the fleet. She had to prove humans could lead without intimidating others. "Leadership," she said softly, "is not domination. It is guidance. Trust is not demanded. It is earned. We offer both, but the choice is yours. Will you act together, or will hesitation doom countless lives?" Silence followed her words. Every delegate felt the weight of the approaching threat, and the truth in Lyra's calm confidence. Humans had proven their discipline, intelligence, and courage. They had shown the Council that power comes in many forms, not just in weapons, but in knowledge, unity, and action. And somewhere in the shadows, the feathered alien muttered one final warning, almost to itself. "They show us strength, but I fear there is more hidden than we can see. The true test is yet to come." Lyra and her team stood quietly, unarmed but resolute. The Council had begun to understand the human's real power, the strength to survive, lead, and protect without ever drawing a weapon. The approaching fleet, deadly and relentless, would soon arrive. The question remained, could the Council put aside fear and trust humans fully? Only action would reveal the answer. The Council chamber was tense. Even after humans had demonstrated incredible skill, intelligence, and coordination, the alien delegates still wondered about their true power. How could beings with no weapons navigate impossible challenges, uncover spies, and predict attacks? Something about humans was still unknown, and perhaps dangerous. Captain Lyra stepped forward, her calm presence commanding attention. She knew it was time to reveal the truth. Not all at once. Just enough to earn the Council's trust, while keeping the mystery intact. "Council members," she began, "you have seen our skills. You have witnessed our methods. But there is one truth you must understand. Humans do not rely on weapons because our real strength lies in adaptability and unpredictability." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Some delegates leaned forward, puzzled. "Unpredictability?" one asked. Lyra nodded. "Yes, in conflict. Predictability is weakness. When you act exactly as expected, enemies can anticipate and defeat you. Humans embrace the unknown, adapt instantly, and turn limitations into advantages. That is why we arrive unarmed. We show that our strength is not obvious, but it is always present." A murmur ran through the chamber. Delegates exchanged glances, some with respect, others with fear. The feathered alien in the shadows narrowed its eyes. "This is why they are dangerous," it thought. Lyra activated a small device. A holographic map appeared above the chamber, showing the approaching fleet. But now, humans revealed their strategy. It wasn't about weapons. It was about control, coordination, and misdirection. "We do not fight like you expect," Lyra continued. "We study, anticipate, and act with precision. One human ship can outmaneuver several enemies because we think differently. One human diplomat can prevent wars because we see solutions where others see conflict. Strength does not need weapons to be deadly. It needs intelligence, cooperation, and courage." The crystalline speaker's voice was quiet, almost reverent. "So, all this time, your unarmed approach was not weakness, but a deliberate message?" Lyra nodded. Exactly. We demonstrate that humans are not easily predicted, that aggression toward us can fail before it begins. Our presence alone reshapes expectations. It is a form of power you cannot measure with numbers or energy signatures. Some council members began to understand. Others hesitated. Struggling with centuries of tradition, power had always meant weapons, control, and dominance. Humans challenged that idea entirely. Then, the holographic feed shifted to the spy, uncovered earlier in the facility. Lyra's team had analyzed the alien's moves and predicted its actions in advance, ensuring the Council's data remained secure. The message was clear. Humans could protect allies without firing a single weapon, yet their methods were decisive and precise. A young delegate whispered, "They are not just clever, they are a force unlike any we have faced." Lyra continued, addressing the whole chamber. "Council, the fleet approaches. Our strategy will work only if we act together. The choice is simple. Trust humans, coordinate our efforts and survive, or doubt us, hesitate, and risk everything. The decision is yours." The chamber was silent. Fear, respect, and curiosity battled within every delegate. Even those most skeptical could sense the truth. Humans were different, unpredictable, and brilliant. From the shadows, the feathered alien muttered to itself, its voice barely audible. "They reveal strength without weapons, but the real danger is still hidden. Watch carefully. The test is not over." Finally, the crystalline speaker spoke, voice steady but heavy with newfound respect. "Humans, your methods are extraordinary. You have earned the Council's attention. The question now is whether we have the courage to trust in this unarmed strength. The fleet arrives soon. There is no time to hesitate." Lyra nodded. "Then let us act. Together." As the Council began preparations, humans moved calmly among the delegates, unarmed yet commanding trust and influence. Every eye followed them. Every mind weighed their words. The message was clear. Humans were not just survivors. They were leaders, strategists, and guardians of the galaxy in ways the Council had never imagined. The approaching fleet's dark shadow grew across the galaxy. The Council faced a choice that would decide the fate of countless worlds. And humans, unarmed but unstoppable in their strategy, were ready to lead the charge. The galaxy trembled. The legendary fleet, long thought extinct, now advanced across the stars, their massive warships blotting out distant suns. Every council member felt a mix of fear, doubt, and urgency. The humans had revealed their unarmed strength, their brilliance, and their strategy, but now the ultimate test had arrived. Captain Lyra stood at the center of the chamber, unarmed as always. Beside her, the human team moved with calm precision, ready to coordinate, guide, and act. Their presence radiated confidence, a confidence born of experience, intelligence, and trust in one another. The crystalline speaker addressed the council. "The humans have proven their strength through strategy, foresight, and precision, but the fleet approaches. Now we must decide, do we follow their plan, or do we rely on tradition and risk destruction?" Delegates whispered urgently, weighing centuries of training, doctrine, and pride against a human's unconventional approach. Fear hung in the air like a storm cloud. Lyra's voice cut through the tension. "Council, hesitation will cost lives. Weapons alone cannot win this fight. We must act together, combine our knowledge, and trust in strategy over brute force. This is how we survive." Some delegates hesitated. Others nodded, sensing the truth in her calm certainty. Slowly, a vote began. The chamber split. Some would follow the human's plan. Others remained skeptical. The crystalline speaker raised a hand. "Let the majority decide. Humans, if your strategy fails, all will fall. The choice is now the council's." Lyra's eyes scanned the chamber. "We will do our part. The rest is in your hands. Trust your allies. Trust your instincts. Trust humans." With that, the council united, placing faith in humans' plan. The fleet's shadow stretched across multiple systems, moving faster than most expected. The humans sprang into action. Holographic displays lit the chamber, showing each human team coordinating with council fleets across the galaxy. Ships moved in patterns designed to confuse and trap the enemy. Humans predicted movements, rerouted defenses, and guided alien forces with silent signals and calculated timing. Every strike and maneuver was deliberate, minimizing loss while maximizing effectiveness. Delegates watched in awe. The humans' unarmed leadership transformed fear into action. Even skeptical council members realized that weapons were only one part of battle. Strategy and coordination could achieve far greater results. Then the first clash occurred. The enemy fleet fired energy beams, aiming to destroy worlds in seconds. But humans had anticipated the strikes. Using coordinated shields, decoys, and precise movements, no council ship was destroyed. A hush fell over the council chamber. Every delegate could see it. Humans were winning without firing traditional weapons, relying solely on intelligence, adaptability, and coordination. The slim, feathered alien muttered from its corner, almost in disbelief. They are unstoppable. Without weapons, how? Meanwhile, humans directed fleets to surround the enemy, cutting off escape routes and neutralizing attacks with calculated precision. The fleet, legendary and feared for centuries, found itself trapped, outmaneuvered, and outthought. Panic spread among their ranks. Finally, Captain Lyra spoke calmly to the council. Observe. We do not destroy unnecessarily. We protect. We neutralize, we survive. Power is not always in firepower. It is in intelligence, unity, and courage. The council's fear melted into awe and relief. Worlds were saved. Systems stabilized. The legendary fleet, once thought unbeatable, had been neutralized without mass destruction. The humans' approach, unarmed yet unmatched in strategy, had proven decisive. The crystalline speaker turned to Lyra. Humans, you have done what no one else could. You have saved the galaxy not through force, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. Your methods are revolutionary. We owe you more than thanks. We owe you trust. Lyra nodded. The council chose wisely. Together, we have protected countless lives. And together, we will continue to do so. A ripple of respect spread across the chamber. The council's decision had changed everything. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were leaders, strategists, and guardians of the galaxy. From the shadows, the slim, feathered alien watched silently. Its eyes glimmered with understanding and caution. They are more than clever. They are the future of this galaxy. And so, the story of humans arriving unarmed, but unmatched in intellect, courage, and unity, became legend. The council, once skeptical, had learned a lesson that would echo through generations. Strength is not only in weapons, but in strategy, intelligence, and the courage to act when others hesitate. The galaxy had survived, and humans had proven why arriving unarmed could be the greatest weapon of all.